let's have another look through the papers. With us this morning to review them, the editor of Spike, Tom Slater, and Dawn Leeson, the former editor of the Daily Star. Hello again to you both, our final hour. Let's kick off with the leadership debate last night. Dawn, what are they saying about Sunak? Specifically, what are Labour saying about Rishi Sunak?
Well, this is interesting. There's two papers I picked out on this very same subject. The Times' headline is, and I like the irony of this one, Kimberly, Sunak's plea for honesty. This is the Tory party we're talking about. And also, and this is the iNews Dow weekend, and they are going on Labour evidently wanting Rishi Sunak to win the Tory leadership debate and become the next Prime Minister. Now, basically, the short answer to this is because Keir Starmer and Labour believe that the next election will be run on a economy election, basically. Bear in mind, that's 2024, which is like, it feels like we're just around the corner now, doesn't it? But they believe it will be all about the economy, and if Rishi is leader of the Conservative Party, they stand more chance of winning, because the former Chancellor will then be forced to own up to the looming recession we all face, because, let's face it, he was in the driving seat when all this happened. Now, I mean, Rishi has already made it clear that a lot of the decisions that he made financially during that were the boss's idea, i.e. Boris Johnson. So, and the other line on this is Keir Starmer, who's currently in Berlin meeting Olaf Scholz. He is saying, look, you know, I'm here doing the job while they are fighting like cats in a sack. And I think most of us watching the leadership debates, I know Sky, but there's coming up, looking forward to it enormously, we're all sitting there thinking, this is like, they are tearing each other apart, Kimberly. It's absolutely fascinating to watch that, you know, potentially one of these five people are going to be the leader of the country in a few months' time. And they're having a go at each other like, I'm sorry, but like children in the playground, some of them.
Okay, Tom, what do you think? You've picked out the Times for us, which also says the Tory candidates are turning on each other.
Yes, the headline here is Plots, Pacts and Betrayals, and you know, it speaks to a lot of what Dawn was saying there as far as all the infighting, all of the plotting, a lot of the blue-on-blue attacks which have been taking place. Part of this story is focusing on the attacks from the Liz Truss camp on Penny Mordaunt, something we've been talking about a little bit earlier this morning as well. But a lot of this story is also about the question of who should row in behind what candidate at this particular point. A lot of people who are backing Liz Truss, a lot of people from the right of the party, the Brexiteer European Research Group, or at least the leadership of it, are urging other people to basically drop Kemi Badenoch, the kind of more insurgent candidate in this particular race, and row in behind Truss. But I think looking at that debate last night, there's Liz Truss there, you know, in that outfit, trying to emulate Thatcher, this slightly kind of tragic Thatcher tribute act that she's been trying to pull off in recent weeks. She did look very stiff, she did look very wooden, and I think that those in the Tory party who think Liz Truss is the answer to the question of who will win them the next election, or, you know, just rejuvenate the Tory party with some interesting ideas, I really do not see it. And whilst someone like Badenoch is untested, is relatively new to frontline politics, has something interesting to say on a lot of the culture war issues that we talk about, but also just feels like more of a kind of straight talker. So, but the broader picture, I think, is a Tory party that really doesn't know what it's doing, who to back, and so we're seeing so much of this infighting as a consequence of that.
Okay, it's going to be interesting to see how the next couple of days play out. We've got a TV debate here on Sky Tuesday at 8 p.m, so that's going to be good. Let's look at, I don't know what paper this is. Oh, it's the Daily Mirror, Dawn. Camilla is turning 75.
She is indeed, and the Mirror have done a lovely spread, basically looking back at Camilla's life and, you know, her journey, as we say these days, on, you know, from 17-year-old debutante to, you know, the future queen, basically. That's what she's going to be. She's turning 75 on Sunday, and they are having a small family dinner. Now, what constitutes a small family dinner with the royal family is probably different to you and I, Kimberly. And it's going to be hosted by our Charles, her husband, obviously, at Highgrove in Gloucestershire. And the family are going to be there. But the thing is with Camilla, I mean, regardless of what's happened in the past, Kimberly, you know, with the whole Diana, 3 people in our marriage thing, she's 75 and she's got amazing energy still. I mean, she's you know, been on the front cover of Vogue, she's guest hosted Country Live, she's on the ITV documentary. She seems to be full of energy. She seems to be really enjoying life. And at the moment, I think anyone that's got an optimistic view on things is to be welcomed. And she seems to have a really good time. And she gets on incredibly well with Kate, her daughter-in-law, obviously, who took the pictures of her there, that the Mirror using some of them as well. he took the pictures of her, and they have a very good relationship. And you know what? The bottom line, Kimberly, she actually looks like she'd be good fun down the pub, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does, I guess. Okay, COVID, and everyone always says, "Oh, we're just going to have it." So, did you see Dawn? I saw you, Dawn. We're just going to have. We're just going to have booster after booster after booster, and it does look like that. What's the Guardian saying about over 50s? Tom.
Yeah, so the over 50s in England are being offered the COVID jab alongside the kind of flu jab, part of the same push for the autumn. The JCVI, who are in charge of the immunisation programme, or at least the guidance, have also suggested that staff in residence and care homes should be jabbed again, as well as people who are immunocompromised, their close contact, and all the rest of it. Obviously, there's been a lot of news in the last couple of days about the cases. According to the ONS, it was 1 in 19 people who had COVID last week. And there's obviously a lot of clamour for what you can do. But, I think this is the only way forward. Voluntary vaccination for people who want to take it up. They shouldn't be compelled to take it up. And beyond that, we do just have to live with it at this point. And, just even our response to when we see this story come up, the desire for it all to be over, I think speaks to the fact that, given the fact that we've got these vaccines, given that we can protect the most vulnerable, that this should no longer be a front page story for us anymore. I think we've just got to get on with it.
But that's even though the numbers are rising really quick, but even though the numbers are rising, COVID cases, really quickly.
Yeah, but we're in a completely different situation to where we were 2 years ago. We've got to accept that.
We still have 3 million people who haven't even had one jab. But we're going to have to leave it there. 20 seconds left. It's been great. Have a fantastic weekend. Stay cool. Stay cool. Tom and Dawn, thanks. Bye. Still to come here on Sky News Breakfast. Temperatures rise and the UK prepares to enter a state of national emergency.